my name's Rachel. Welcome back to another plant channel. If you're new here, I'd love it if you take a second and just click like and subscribe. And if you've been here before, thank you. So today what I want to do is I want to share with you my purchases, plant related, from January and February. Now I know I was really quiet last month. I wasn't really on here at all. And I was just kind of taking a month off and recuperating. At the very beginning of the year, my husband and I both ended up getting sick. So I just kind of wanted to baby myself and needed some time off. But I feel like I have a ton of things to show you today. Only 2 of them are actual plants that I picked up or was gifted this month. And everything else is little like accessories or plant care items. But I'm going to start with the actual plants because that's always the most exciting part. So the first one I have to show you is this Geogenanthus. And this is one of the new Costa Farms ones. I'm going to try and tip this so you can see the leaves without spilling it. And this one is really dark, glossy. On here you can see some green in them. In real life they almost look black or purple, but just really pretty. And you can see it's already got some new growth coming out. And like I said, this is one of the new Costa Farms ones that they've been releasing recently. They did this one. I got some Baltic Blue cuttings a while ago, which was part of that release. And I've been seeing Philodendron squamiferums popping up at random Walmarts. Not mine yet, but that's something I'm on the lookout for. So anyways, this guy here, my husband brought him home for me. I follow a Facebook group called the Big Box Store Plant Watch or something to that effect, and somebody had posted that in my area there was a shipment of these, so he was nice enough to stop after work and bring one home. And I'm going to show you the pot that I bought for him because that's also one of this month's purchases. I found this at TJ Maxx and I just love the way this looks. So you've got the terracotta, and then the inside is also terracotta. The inside is unglazed, the outside is glazed, but I'm just using it as a cache pot, so it really doesn't matter. But I just love the pattern on this. It has a really homemade type feel, so it feels way more expensive and fancy than it was. And this was actually only $6.99. It came pre-drilled with a drainage hole, which if you're going to pot directly in it is really important. And the brand is Aparicio Ceramics, made in Spain. And for now, I'm keeping this guy right on my dining room table. I don't think he's going to need super high light, so he's getting like bright and direct. Usually when they're darker, they don't need as much light, but I'm going to kind of see if that plays out, if that works. And I don't have the care nailed down for this yet. I've watched a bunch of videos, and it seems that it likes to stay more on the damp side. Don't let it dry out. And it is in the spiderwort family, so it's related to the Trellises, I believe. But yeah, I'm kind of excited to see how it's going to grow and do for me. So that is the first one. And then the second one is a wish list plant that my husband got me for Valentine's Day. And I am so excited for this guy. So it's a Philodendron Tortum, and it's just a baby, which I love. I like getting them small and then like growing them in my house for a couple reasons. So I like this obviously because you can have more plants when they're smaller, but it is going to get big eventually. But I think that it's a lot easier to acclimate a small plant, whereas if you import or buy a larger plant, it's already set in its conditions and it's happy where it's at, where this one is going to grow up in my conditions and hopefully be better acclimated. Now this did have it's wet right now. I just watered it. This did have a tiny bit of root rot when I repotted it. I noticed it. So I brought it home. I waited like 2 weeks to let it acclimate, and then I repotted it. And some of the roots were rotten. So I went ahead and trimmed off anything that was dead, but it still had enough left that I think it's going to be fine. So I'm just going to keep a really close eye on it. And if I notice things starting to yellow, I'll have to pull it out of the soil, trim off anything rotten, treat it with hydrogen peroxide, and then kind of water propagate it to get it where I need it to be. But you can see the newest leaf right there unfurling. And that is so exciting. And this guy is just in this pot. This I've had for a while. I just recycled it from a different plant, originally from TJ Maxx. So most of my pottery that you'll see in my houseplants comes from like TJ Maxx, Marshalls. I have a few pieces that I've gotten at plant stores that looked really special to me. But I try and get the ones that feel more handmade, and I try and stay in the white and terracotta family so that everything kind of plays nicely together. And while we're talking about pots, I'm going to show you another one that I picked up. So I picked up this at Lowe's, and this is just part of that Urban Jungle collection. But this was on a clearance rack because it had no plant in it. So the plant had probably already died and they just wanted to sell the pot. So I got this pot for $5. And I like the shape. And I don't know if it's showing up on camera great, but it's got texture to it. So it's not smooth like your standard terracotta. So I don't know what I'm putting in this yet, but for $5 I couldn't pass it up because I like the shape. I don't want all my terracotta pots to look the same. Okay, so I think next I'm going to show you some trellises. One of my major plant goals, because that's something I do, I'm like a plant nerd. So I get out my planner at the beginning of the year and I decide what my goals are going to be for the year to do. So last year my goal was to start using distilled water on all my calathea and maranta and to not miss them. And that made a huge difference. And I did it all year. I stuck to it and I'm still going to keep doing it. But this year I kind of wanted to add something else, like what would make my plant collection kind of that next level. So I wanted to try and find some pretty trellises. And I have a plant here to show you. I'm going to show you my Philodendron squamiferum. This trellis is from Hearth and Hand at Target. And if it's available, well, I'll link it anyways because it comes and goes in stock. So my husband gets up early for work. I had him check early in the morning, like 4 a.m. And it had come back in stock and I had him order me one. So it's just a really pretty gold brass type color. And it's got like the crisscross design. But it looks really good with my decor. I'm not much for moss poles. So I thought that this was perfect. And it's not cheap. It was $19.99 for that trellis. But I feel like it's something that's going to stay in that pot forever. It's metal, so I mean, possibly could rust, I don't know. But it's not like the wooden stakes where eventually they rot through and fall off. That's going to be in there. The plant's going to grow with it. And it's just a really good look for me. Now, Hearth and Hand also came out with some other smaller trellises. And I've got two of those here to show you. It comes as a 3-pack. And I think it was $15. I don't know. But like I said, I'll link that too. So this, you can see here, this is one of them. It's a gold one and it's got like a point. And these were a lot bigger than I thought they were going to be, which I was happy with. So I'm kind of showing you this here. You can see, compared to the size of the pot, how big that's going to be. And I think these would be great if you grow Hoyas. Because I know like a lot of people start with those small cuttings and then wrap them around the hoops. I think that these would be a really pretty option too. So there's that one that comes in like that pointy shape. And then the other one, oh, and by the way, this is a Philodendron Sporto-Anum for anybody who was wondering. And the next one, this is my Rhodospatha, but this is the shape of that trellis. This one's more of a rounded one. And I think this is probably my favorite shape of the three. And I don't have the third one here with me, but basically the third one is this part here is just more like oval at the top, like a sideways oval. But just really cute. And this one here, I actually just have the plant kind of like leaning on it for support. But it's way cuter than the bamboo stakes or chopsticks that I was using like stuck in the soil before to kind of support things. So it's kind of like a step up and I was really happy with that. So something else I picked up from Target is this planter. And I'm going to try and get it into frame here. So this is from the Project 62 line. I want to say it was like $20 maybe. But I thought this was great. This is a long planter, which if you wanted to do like a cute little succulent garden or something, but as soon as I saw this, all I could think was my Philodendron Gloriosum before it was starting to outgrow its little plastic clear pot, and I needed something that it could go across the soil. So as you can see, it's still got a little bit to go here before it grows out again, and then I'll just take cuttings and put them back towards the edge again. But as soon as I saw this planter, I thought it would be perfect for that. And I actually saw this in an Ashley Anita, I think Plant Life with Ashley Anita. I love her channel, and she took us shopping at Target, and when she showed this, I had to pause the video like right there and go online and try and find this, because I have been looking so long for something stylish for my Gloriosum. I mean, because you can find all kinds of plastic window box type planters, but to find one that's terracotta with this neat kind of grooved design. So I was really excited for that. Okay, oh, I'm going to show you my sweatshirt. This was also a Valentine's gift. This is a new plant sweatshirt. This is from Bark and Vine. And if you are in or near the New Haven, Connecticut area, I would highly recommend stopping there. This is probably one of my favorite plant stores I've ever been to. So this is their new sweatshirt. They came out with this, and then they came out with a tote bag, which I also have here. He got me this too. He spoiled me crazy this year. So this is just their Cebu Blue. And what they do is, if you are wearing either the sweatshirt or you carry the tote bag in store, you save 15%, I believe it is, on any plant purchase. Don't quote me on the 15, but I think it's 15. But I'll go ahead and I'll link their store in my description box below. That way, if you want to check them out, they do ship, so you can buy things online. You could get the bag or the sweatshirt, but you don't get the discount when you're buying online. And now, keeping with kind of like the tote bag thing, this is a bag that I've had for a while. This one I picked up at Terrain, and I mean, probably at least 2 years ago. But I wanted to show you the pins that I recently added to it. So this one here, this is a Hemleva pin, and it's the acrylic Maranta. And then this one is one that they just released, and it's the Jewel Orchid one. And I don't know if that's going to focus great because there's a lot of gold in here. So, but this one just recently got released, and it's so pretty. That one's also Hemleva. So I just added those to my tote bag. Okay, I am getting to the bottom of this. I think there's only a few more things left. Boring, but something that was a necessity for me. I picked up these little clear plastic bumpers on Amazon, and I will go ahead, there'll be a link to my Amazon store below, and all this stuff that's from Amazon will be in that store. So the reason I wanted these is I have a plant here. My Rhaphidophora is on a plank, and this hangs on the wall, but I needed it to sit out from the wall just a little bit so that when it's damp, there's that space that creates airflow, so it's not straight up against your wall and getting things moldy or ruined. So when I water this, I will just run it under the sink. I let it drip dry for a few hours so that the moss is still damp to the touch, but the wood board is pretty much dry. But then this will ensure that nothing happens to my walls. And I went with these rubber ones as opposed to the felt ones because I felt like the felt is going to absorb moisture as well. So it didn't seem like it would work as well. And these, I don't remember how much I paid. If you follow the Amazon link, you'll see, but they weren't, I think they were like $3. Also from Amazon, I picked up some fertilizers. So this Miracle Grow one, this is the one I've been using forever. And I use the IKEA Vatten Cross watering can. I'll put a picture in. It's like that little white one with the gold detailing on it. And I do 2 pumps in there, so I use this half strength. And as long as my plants are growing, I fertilize year round. So if the plant is growing, I use this every time. Now I've been doing some research, and I wanted to kind of bump it up and do a little bit better. So this one here just has the NPK in it, and I kind of wanted to try seeing about replenishing some micronutrients, so I picked this up to try. And I can't really tell you what I think yet because I just started using it. This is called Jackpot, and it's a micronutrient fertilizer mix, but it's got all of the micronutrients that the other one doesn't, that over time are going to be like leached out of your soil due to like watering. So we're going to kind of see if this does anything, and I will report back or either share on my Instagram stories or something. But I want to give it a few months before I figure it out. And I also do not think I'm going to use this every single time. I'm thinking maybe every other watering or maybe once a month. I'm not sure. But it is really easy to use. I want to say that. So basically you leave this one screwed, you unscrew this one, and then you just squeeze the bottle, and you can see it fills up to a certain amount here. So I went ahead on the back and I put little markings, and this 1/8 of an ounce here, that's how much goes in my watering can with 2 pumps of this. So that's how I'm doing that. I'll link that in my store, but like I said, I can't give a review on it yet because I just started. And then the last 2 things I want to show you are books, and I always love the spring because it seems like the houseplant and gardening books always come out in the spring. So I've got 2 here. They were on my list that are recent releases. This one here, The Hidden Histories of Houseplants. I am probably maybe halfway through this, and I love this book. This is a very, I want to say like sciencey type book. It's not so much like a care book where it tells you, you know, use this soil or water this, or, you know, explaining lights and stuff. This is more The Hidden Histories of Houseplants. It tells you more why things are the way they are, like what the theory of why calathea move their leaves, or the theory of why monsteras have holes, things like that. So it gives you like more insight into those types of things, and I love that aspect of it. And this one I haven't started yet, but I'm excited for this. This is called Plants Are My Favorite People, and this is by Alessia Resta, and if you follow her on Instagram, she's the apartment botanist. But I just thought, I mean, the art on this is really pretty, and I can't wait to get into it. Just give you like a quick look through. So like there's a section of winter care. All this, the drawings and stuff are really pretty, kind of like sticking with the theme. Plant dating scene. So it just seems like this is going to be kind of like a fun book, and this is next on my list after I finish this one. So that is it for my January and February purchases. Anything that you saw that you like, I'll try and provide links below, or a link to my Amazon store. If you have any questions about anything, let me know. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.